Hi, everyone. All right, so I guess I'm standing between you and drinks. That's not a good place to be, but I think I've got an exciting presentation, so it'll be worth the wait. It was actually a year ago at this very conference at eComm'08 that we unveiled Phonolo for the first time, and we got a great response. In fact, we were named Best New Product at that show, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to come back a year later and tell you what we've learned, and it's really been a tremendous year for Phonolo. We've accomplished a lot, and we've got some really exciting stuff coming out now. Let me just review quickly what Phonolo is all about. Our mission statement, the easiest way to say it is that we help you as a consumer deal with large companies over the phone. And when I say large companies, I'm talking about banks and insurance companies and credit cards and cell phone providers and ISPs. And what those companies have in common, what those calls have in common, is they all start with that phone menu, where you press 1 for this and 2 for that. And we wanted to come up with a way that took that same approach and just made it better and less frustrating. So we invented a technology called deep dialing. Deep dialing essentially lets you skip the phone menu and connect directly to the point you need. And the way it works is you can see a visual representation of the phone menu through our web interface or a mobile application. Find the spot you need and then click. And when that happens, Phonolo calls the company, navigates to the right point, calls you back on a number you designate, and when you answer that call, you're connected directly to that point. And this is, people like it. Yes. I get that a lot. I get a lot of fan mail. It turns out people really, really hate phone menus. It's this visceral reaction that is not even rational. But you can all try it for free. We are in open beta. You can sign up at phonolo.com and give it a shot. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the interface because the best way to do it is to actually go and try it out. But here's a quick screenshot. This is the page for Amazon, which is actually one of the most popular companies for people to use with Phonolo. Common Calls is a set of predefined buttons that are shortcuts right into the phone menu. So if you want to check on delivery status, you just click that button right there and a call will begin. On the left, you can see a call history. It's a little bit different from a call history you're used to because we list not only the company you called, but also the spot in their phone menu. So you can click there and repeat that same call to the same spot. And you can also promote that to a bookmark. You see there's a spot there for bookmarks on that other tab. If none of those buttons work for you, you can go to the phone menu tab, and you'll see something like this, which is the full menu. You can scroll through and read all the text and click on any point there, and you will be connected to that to the right point. How did we make this happen? Well, obviously, we have to build a map, our own map of these phone menus. And just a word on nomenclature. The proper name for phone menu is IVR, Interactive Voice Response System, and I use that interchangeably. It means the same thing. I also say phone tree. We like to think of them as trees as well. So we have to build this map of all of these menus, and there's no easy way to do this. There's no system. There's no protocol for exposing this data, even if the companies wanted to do it. So we built a spidering system, very analogous to what Google does with web space. We spider phone space. And just like with Google, we don't need the cooperation of the companies to do this. To their phone system, our machine calling in looks like any other call, except that it connects to some fancy voice recognition technology we've developed and some automated dialing technology we've developed, and it maps out the phone menu. So we have to regularly go through all of the menus because they could change at any time. And we have an additional problem, which is that even if we've spidered all of the companies, and say every hour, say we're very diligent, we still have the problem that you could call and request a deep dial, and the menu's changed a minute before. So we had to develop an extra little bit of technology that actually validated that particular path in real time as we're navigating so that we know we're always connecting you to the right spot. So some real challenges here in terms of doing that voice recognition quickly and accurately, and we've filed some patents on all of this. And it's been quite an effort, but very worthwhile. We've learned a lot, and after about a year of doing this, I'm happy to announce a pretty nice milestone. We have 500 companies from North America now mapped in our database. That's almost 15,000 nodes, and it's a very interesting data set. To my knowledge, no one's ever built this data set before. This whole world of the phone menu, the IVR, is really hidden from us, and we all experience it when we call, but there's no systematic way to really explore it. So we've learned a lot about what the current state of this industry looks like and how users interact with those menus, how deeply they typically go, and how popular the most popular paths are. So I'm just going to share with you a few tidbits of information. IVRs have gotten very intricate. We thought when we started this 30, 40 nodes would be the maximum. We have 5 companies with over 100 nodes. Current record holder, Department of Veteran Affairs, weighing it at 194 nodes. And if you log in, scroll through, you'll just be able to just hold down the scroll button and watch it go for about a minute. Another dimension on which IVRs have really expanded is the amount of actual text that's in there. 20 companies with nodes with more than 400 words. That's quite a lot. Current record holder, American Airlines Cargo. Wait for it. 1,687 words. If you're wondering what that amount of words looks like, there's the text you're expected to listen to, and there's page 2. So here's another little tidbit. You've all heard this little phrase. Please listen carefully as our menu's changed. Turns out not so much. We have 10 companies that have used that phrase and their menus haven't changed in 6 months. Current record holder, Sandals Resorts, weighing in at 11 months, 27 days. And that's as long as we've been measuring. So for all we know, it actually hasn't changed in years. So there's a lot of cool stuff here. I could go on for a while, but I want to get on to some of the other cool stuff. I already hinted at the call history that we do. And that's made possible because Phonolo stays on the call path with you, and so we're able to build a call history. And we think of Phonolo as kind of a dashboard where you keep track of all the interactions with a given company. It's nice because it works across all the calls you make, whether it's from home or office. You can have a summary of all your calls with a given company all in one place and attach notes to those calls. Something we introduced just recently is call recording. It's available now, and all of this stuff is still free. Call recording is unlimited. Deep dialing is unlimited. We are going to introduce some premium services later this year, but for now, log in and enjoy. There's also an Android app. This just came out last week. We didn't build it. Someone built it for us using the public APIs that we published a while back. So you can actually use our API and just query the database, pull the phone menu, and trigger a call. If you have a G1, you can download this now from code.google.com. Just search for Phonolo. We did write an iPhone app. It is not on App Store yet. I know everyone is really eager to get their hands on it. And if you sign up for Phonolo, we will notify you when it's ready. But it's going to be a really amazing application when it's out there. I wanted to just stop now and talk a little bit philosophically. If you read some of the press coverage, and not to toot our own horn, but we've gotten a lot of coverage, a lot of it is this very confrontational language about how we're defeating the evil companies that have been, inflicted us with the IVR. And as much as I love the headlines and the attention, I actually don't agree with it. And having spoken to a lot of companies over the last few months, companies that have contacted us, having heard what we're doing, I've actually learned that it's not that case at all. It's not this confrontational arrangement that you might think. And the reason why is that Phonolo actually takes an investment that companies have already made, an investment they have to make, because, let's face it, IVRs aren't going anywhere, and elevates it, instantly gives a better interface for the mobile context, for the web context, without any extra effort on their part. So in that sense, they really like what we're doing. They see it as an easy way to get more value out of something they have to build and maintain anyway. And we've learned through some further conversations that there's actually a quantitative improvement that you can tie to Phonolo, and that's because of a dirty little secret in the IVR world, which is that a surprising percentage of calls come in and misnavigate, meaning they don't properly navigate the menu, they don't listen, or they're impatient and they press 0, and I know everyone here is guilty of doing that from time to time. This activity really kills their cost metrics, because when you do that, you end up talking to the wrong agent, and the agent puts you back on hold, and you've wasted 2 agents' time, and you're more frustrated. And so there's a real strong incentive for call center people to reduce that. And this visual navigation that we've introduced, this deep dialing, is a great way to do that. So we are actually, and there's some of the rates that we've heard, 30 to 50%. It's quite staggering. So we are actually talking with a number of large companies about using our technology and integrating with them, and I can't name any names just yet, but stay tuned. That's a really exciting development for us. Finally, just looking into the future a little bit, we, of course, will keep spidering and we'll add more companies. Our shortcut system is getting a lot smarter. Our idea is to actually crowdsource that whole effort and basically let users create the best shortcuts for a given company and let the most popular ones sort of float to the top. Our most requested feature is dealing with entering in your personal information. People write to us about this all the time. Why can't Phonolow remember my ID and just punch it in when I'm prompted for it? We're working on it. Stay tuned. It's coming soon. We also get a lot of questions about international expansion. And we have no plans to launch Phonolow in any other countries. It's actually quite an effort because you'd have to build a whole new database. Each country has its companies that are relevant to that population. And then if you get into foreign languages, there's the voice recognition challenge. So our plan is to work with carriers, and we're talking with a few of them about launching this as a value-added service in other countries. And I think that that's a good point. I've just got a few minutes left, and that's a good transition to just talk a little bit about what the Phonolow story kind of means in terms of the state of the industry and the broader sense of telco. And it's come up in a number of the conversations today. When Alan Quayle spoke earlier and was talking about the case for telecom companies opening up, for carriers allowing this kind of innovation. And it also ties to this hand-wringing over where the value is in the future world in this industry. We all recognize that the basic minutes of connectivity, that value is decreasing. It becomes a question of adding, respecting my time as a caller and helping me connect to the people I want to connect in a more efficient way. And this is a great example of a technology that helps you do that. The problem is, look at how we have to implement it. We have to do this somewhat awkward callback approach where you go to an application and request, and then we call you back. And the problem there is it's a bit of a strange behavior, and we break the caller ID system, and it's also added complexity for us because we have two call paths. What we really want is to be able to just plug this technology into that call process. We ultimately want you as a user to be able to talk to your carrier and say, "Hey, install Phonolow on my calling plan." And I think that's ultimately what Telco 2.0 boils down to, is taking innovation like what we're doing, that's this solution to a particular pain point that we all understand, and being able to plug it into the value chain of a calling system in a smooth way that doesn't require changing phone numbers or doing a callback approach or trying to have some sort of tricky application installed on your mobile phone. So we're looking forward to talking to all of you and hearing feedback. Please try Phonolow. As I mentioned, it's free. I have about a minute left, so I'm happy to take questions. Yes.
Thanks for including the Canadian hour, by the way.
You're welcome. We're coming to take over.
So I would contend instead that the IVR should be dead, right? I mean, how many of you have gone to IVRs which then sit there spending immense amounts of time trying to get you to do things that clearly can be done better on the website, and you got the 800 number from the website, so you wouldn't ever go to the IVR for that. So outside of people doing talk in their cars while they're driving, why shouldn't IVRs just die if your technology is to be available to people?
Well, I think that IVRs are just another interface, and ultimately the two are collapsing together. And you look at a technology like ours, bridging the world of web navigation with voice navigation, and you realize that all of it is just about companies trying to provide an efficient interface between you and the services they provide. And if you do need to speak to a person, efficiently routing you to the right person in such a way that gets the problem resolved as quickly as possible.
But again, what I'm saying is if I'm on the web, I would never use the IVR to do any automated function. So the only thing I could ever imagine wanting would be to go to a person because I'm already on the web.
That's true, and then the question becomes getting you to the right person, And that's still an important challenge.
So why even show that whole tree? Because the only thing I'm ever going to want is the right person.
I'd answer, but my time is up. I'll talk to you in the hallway. Thanks, everyone.